Welcome everyone to a very special segment of Asian Boston Television. Today we have with us two very important members of the Chinatown community, Mr. Tony Yi, who is president of Chinatown Mainstreet, and Mr. Gilbert Ho, who heads Chinatown Crimewatch. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
So for those of us who are not familiar with the two groups, can you give us a brief description of what Chinatown Mainstreet is, and then what Chinatown Crimewatch does?
Sure. Chinatown Mainstreet is a nonprofit organization here in Chinatown. Our goal is to revitalize the business district, improve the appearance of Chinatown, and primarily promote the area to bring in more visitors.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then?
Well, for Chinatown Crimewatch, we are also working under the CCBA, which is Chinese Consolidated Benefit Association, which is also a nonprofit organization. And we are forming this Crimewatch group to try to maintain our Chinatown safety and promote also, try to erase the stereotype that Chinatown is dangerous.
Right.
Kind of idea for the general public, so they can visit Chinatown more often.
That's really great. So before we delve more into what each of the organizations do, I want to talk a little bit about Chinatown. Now, this is an area that has changed so much within the past couple of years, but also, in the past, it's received its fair share of criticisms, right? Take me back 10 years. Compare Chinatown then, Chinatown now.
Okay. So from the Chinatown Mainstreet perspective, as far as improving the appearance of the area, we're actually very proud to say that in the last 6 years, Chinatown has undergone a huge transformation. 10 years ago, Chinatown was very dirty. Unfortunately, a lot of the immigrants and the business owners in Chinese areas, their focus is more along the lines of business, what happens inside their stores, making a profit on the food they serve, and as a result, the thought of what's going on outside of their doors is not on their priority. So that's why typically if you see every Chinatown within the United States, typically you're going to see newspapers flying around, takeout boxes spread out on the streets and the sidewalks. You'll see wet corrugated boxes that who knows how long it's been sitting out there.
Right, so everybody just caring for themselves.
Right. And as far as San Francisco, Chicago, and Chinatown in New York, I was just in those areas in the last year, and not much has changed. And quite frankly, I was kind of startled by the way it looked. And then I started to think, wait a second, why is this, I wouldn't say repulsive, but why is this so upsetting to me? Okay.
It's true, because I know that for Boston's Chinatown, it's only probably about 0.2 square miles all over. And I know that New York and San Francisco, New York's 2 square miles, San Francisco's about 1, population's huge, so they must have more, they must have a lot of resources.
Right, so what I found is the reason why it seemed to be upsetting to me is that I had actually gotten used to how clean the Chinatown in Boston has become.
True.
And in a way, because Chinatown's Boston has gotten a lot cleaner, I mean, granted, it's still the city.
Yeah.
I mean, city's the city. You can't eat off the sidewalk.
Sure.
But what a huge difference in the last 6 years as far as how Chinatown has come as far as cleanliness.
Yeah, definitely. Gilbert. So, Gilbert, I actually wanted to start with you first, talking about Chinatown Crimewatch. Now, I know I did some research. There's an Emerson newspaper, or the Emerson University actually released a newspaper in 2005 praising Chinatown Crimewatch and the Chinese community for finally, coming together, taking matters into their own hands. What do you think has led the community to finally come together and band together and actually take this initiative?
Well, for the, like I said before, we want to try to get rid of the image that Chinatown is a non-safe area to visit. We want to get rid of that because our newer generation, we try to get more tourists, more people visiting Chinatown. That first of all, good for the business and good for the people that we look at this Chinatown as a second home.
Right. That's
Even though we move away from Chinatown. But when we come to safety, I think that should be everybody's.
People still care about the community and they
Correct.
come back.
Mhm.
Yeah. What exactly does Crimewatch consist of? Like who works it?
Originally, it was back then, 2005, with then CCBA president Woman Chan was organized the CCBA board of director to look at this situation that we have a lot of purse snatching happened at that time. So we wanted to see what can the community do to improve that. What can we do to keep the Chinatown resident much safer? So that's why they formed this the CCBA Safety Committee to work with Boston Police Crime Watch Division to organize a kind of like a training program to give us an idea to how to be more aware of what our surrounding, and also to be more alert for the to the things happen around them.
Now, I've seen the volunteers that volunteer for Crime Watch, and they seem like very nice people. I know that a lot of people ask, though, how are these ladies or these men supposed to run down criminals?
Oh no, we definitely don't encourage that. From the training from the Crime Watch Division, the Boston Police said the first thing they tell us, don't chase them down, because you leave it for the police to do. Our responsibility should be keep an eye on the neighborhood, be the eyes and ears for the police. And Boston Police cannot be here 24/7.
Right.
And when we were walking the street, we see things happening. We will try to get a better description of the.
So all of these volunteers have been trained by the Boston City Police?
Yes, they at the beginning were from now. At the time when we started, we were about close to about 75 members, and we've been through a seminar for that. And the people that until now they're still staying on board, they were the original people that trained.
And they're just trained to look out for certain things, for certain signals?
Yeah, kind of like pay attention to like what kind of clothing the suspicious character wearing, and get a better description for the police, and they will so they can file the report, and maybe they can later on be able to capture.
Yeah, I guess like things that general people just don't notice, because I know that you were telling me, if you were to go up to someone on the street and say, oh, that purse snatcher that just went by, how tall was he? How was he built? What was he wearing? We generally don't remember those things.
And then if you ask 4 people, you get 4 different answers. No, he was wearing a red sweater. No, it wasn't. It was blue.
No,
Yeah.
that too. So,
And that has happened.
yeah,
I'm
so
sure.
that's why we were trained to pay attention to that description. Also, the strange thing happened when the event took place, and we can give it to the police with a detailed report, so they can later on follow up with the when they investigate.